What if I told you that in one of the world's most advanced countries, a woman can achieve everything, education, career, financial independence, and still be labeled a failure, simply because she is not married? This is the reality for millions of women in China. They call them Sheng Nu, the leftover women. In modern China, women who reach the age of 27 and remain unmarried are often given this label. It's not just a word, it's a cultural judgment that carries heavy social weight. The term reflects how society measures a woman's worth, not by her intelligence, her independence, or her achievements, but by whether or not she has a husband. Across big cities, from Beijing to Shanghai, millions of women are breaking barriers in education and careers, yet they are still reduced to a cruel stereotype. The idea of being leftover suggests rejection, unwantedness, and even failure, creating a stigma that overshadows their accomplishments. At its core, this story raises one painful question: why is marriage still considered the ultimate measure of a woman's value in the 21st century? For centuries, marriage in Chinese society has not just been a milestone but a duty, deeply tied to family honor and social stability. Parents often see their daughter's marriage as proof that they have fulfilled their responsibility as caregivers. In many communities, an unmarried woman past her mid-20s is seen as incomplete, as if she has somehow failed both herself and her family. Traditional sayings highlight this mindset: a good daughter should marry early, a good wife should produce children, and a good woman should prioritize her family above all else. This cultural blueprint is so ingrained that even in a rapidly modernizing China, young women continue to feel suffocated by the weight of these expectations. Pressure doesn't come only from families, it's reinforced by neighbors, co-workers, and broader society. Despite advances in women's rights and education, the traditional belief remains stubborn: without a husband, a woman's life is considered unfinished. But today, China is home to a generation of women more educated, skilled, and ambitious than ever before. Millions are attending top universities, entering high-paying careers, and becoming financially independent. In major cities, women are not only contributing to the economy but in many cases outperforming their male counterparts. This rise of female independence is reshaping Chinese society in profound ways. Where once marriage was seen as the only path to security, today's women see it as an option, not a necessity. They are delaying marriage, choosing careers, travel, or personal growth instead. For many, happiness no longer depends on becoming someone's wife, but on becoming their own person. Still, the irony remains. The very success that empowers these women is the same success that gets them labeled as too independent, too picky, or too intimidating. China's rapid modernization has created a cultural tug-of-war between old traditions and new realities. On one side, ancient expectations continue to tell women that their worth lies in marriage and children. On the other side, modern values encourage ambition, education, and independence. For women, this creates a painful paradox. If they choose career and self-development, they risk being branded leftovers. If they marry early, they may sacrifice dreams and opportunities. Families often urge daughters to compromise, insisting that no woman can have it all. This clash between progress and tradition has left many young women caught in the middle, constantly negotiating between their own desires and the relentless voices of society. And as the economy advances faster than social attitudes, the gap between tradition and modernity only grows wider. Adding fuel to the fire, the Chinese government and mainstream media have actively promoted the Sheng Nu narrative. State-backed campaigns and news outlets often warn women that delaying marriage will leave them alone and unwanted. Propaganda posters, articles, and even TV segments paint frightening pictures: the older a woman gets, the fewer her chances of finding a husband. Some reports describe women over 30 as damaged goods, or past their prime, weaponizing fear to push them toward marriage. Critics argue this is not accidental. It reflects a government anxious about declining birth rates and an aging population. By shaming women into early marriage, authorities hope to boost family formation and national stability. But the consequence is devastating. Millions of successful, independent women are forced to internalize this narrative, feeling guilty or ashamed for choosing careers over weddings. Instead of celebrating progress, society punishes it, turning empowerment into a problem. The stigma also connects deeply to traditional masculinity. Many Chinese men, raised in a culture where they are expected to be the breadwinners, feel uneasy about highly educated or financially independent women. Instead of seeing them as equals, some see them as competitors or threats. A woman with a high income or advanced degree may be judged as too intimidating, too demanding, or too unwilling to compromise. This mindset reinforces outdated gender roles, where men want to maintain dominance and women are expected to accept dependence. As a result, many successful women find fewer marriage prospects, not because they are unwilling to settle down, but because men are unwilling to embrace equality. In this sense, the leftover women phenomenon reveals not just a problem with how women are seen, but also how rigid ideas of masculinity are holding back social progress. Being labeled leftover carries a deep emotional toll. For many women, the constant pressure to marry becomes an invisible burden they carry every day. The stigma often leads to anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. Some women begin questioning their own choices, wondering if pursuing a career or delaying marriage was a mistake. Family gatherings become painful, as relatives ask intrusive questions like, "When are you finally getting married?" For those who resist, isolation can follow, as they feel alienated from both family and society. The internal conflict between personal freedom and social expectations often creates feelings of guilt for not living the traditional life their parents wanted, and guilt for wanting something more. In the long run, this emotional strain does more than just hurt individuals. It also reflects a society unwilling to evolve, leaving countless women caught in cycles of shame and silent suffering. Yet despite the challenges, a growing number of Chinese women are pushing back against the label. They refuse to see themselves as unwanted or incomplete simply because they are unmarried. Instead, they are redefining what it means to be a woman in modern China: independent, ambitious, and self-fulfilled. Through social media, feminist movements, and personal storytelling, women are building communities that celebrate choice over conformity. They are proving that a woman's worth lies not in her marital status, but in her ability to shape her own life. This new definition of womanhood represents a quiet revolution, one that challenges centuries of tradition while inspiring future generations. The message is powerful: women are not leftovers. They are leaders, dreamers, and visionaries who refuse to be boxed in by outdated labels. And as more women speak up, the stigma loses its power, paving the way for change.